funniest person in the locker room?
Bret Hart,
Why Brett? Is it the cartoons?
cartoons, and he's got a good sense of humor.
Hmm.
He really does. But the cartoons, I mean, he was always, and we'll probably see him here today. We're in an event that he's there, so I'm sure during the breaks he's going to do some cartoons of guys that are at the event.
Who? Which were the funniest cartoons? Who would be the subjects that he would draw the most?
Oh, he did Virgil once in a while, Vince periodically. Uh, I can't remember off the top of my head, but he, once in a while he'd do Neidhart doing an extreme, stuff like that.
Chief J.
Chief J, yeah, I think Chief J was on his top of his don't care list. Yeah,
That name might be coming up
he
in a
was on
second.
the top of a lot of guys' don't care list.
Right, so Chief J Strongbow comes up fairly often when I do these interviews, and it seems to be completely down the middle. Some people loved him, some people were not so keen on him. What was it about Jay that sort of splits opinion?
Uh our situation with Strongbow is that he was completely one sided for the company. There was no middle road for, understanding that the guys sometimes need a little leniency. Uh, it was completely biased for the company, their way, only way, and he rubbed the majority of people the wrong way. And he would fabricate some stories sometimes too. He would embellish stories. Uh, George Steele was the same way to get in the good side of the when he didn't need to.
So what would he say then? So between the two of them, how would they ingratiate themselves to the
Well, they would
office?
say that this guy's making remarks against the company. This guy's I witnessed sometimes where he would fabricate a story or embellish a story. Somebody might say, "Well, Jesus, I mean, like, we don't get any time off." All of a sudden, the guy wants more time off, and this and that, and that. So to the point where he doesn't want to come to work. That's not what he said. Maybe he'd like a day off to visit his family. Uh, in our situation, and in particular, uh, they said we caused a disturbance in the dressing room against the company, and that wasn't the situation. They went through this period of time where they're making the guys buy their ticket home. You're on the road for 25 days, and all of a sudden, I live in Atlanta and Barry lives in Minneapolis, and we're out in Seattle, and they give you tickets to all these towns, and they want you to buy a ticket back home. Well, my dad was a riverboat pilot, went from Pittsburgh to New Orleans. They didn't get him off the ship in New Orleans and make him pay his way home to Pittsburgh. So we said, that's not fair. All of a sudden, now we're causing a disturbance. So when it came to the point, push and shove, we met with Vince in Louisville, Kentucky. And I said, here's the real story. So after that, I was very careful in what I said in front of George Steele and Jay Strongbow. The only message that I told them is what I wanted them to give back to the office. They aren't here today to rebut that, but that's truth. So if you want to come up out of the grave and counter it, then come on up.
Bret, I think it's actually Bret Hart said this once, that certain wrestlers who became agents sort of went from a prisoner to the guard. You know what I mean? And they could be like,
Exactly.
yeah, is it one of those
Exactly.
situations?
Exactly. You're told that by the office. See, I was going to transition. I was going to transition from Demolition. Barry and Crush were going to keep going, and I was going to move into the office as an agent. The first meeting I had was in Rochester, New York. First meeting I had was in the locker room. You're going to do this. You're going to start such and such a day. Your pay is going to be such and such. And oh, by the way, you're now going to be an office guy and you're not one of the boys. And I told Vince, I said, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I really don't feel comfortable doing it. So, yeah, that was the way it was.
Who are some of the agents
And
who?
if you know me and you can ask people, I don't say much bad about anybody. It's the truth. So that did happen. If I say something happened, it happened. I'm not going to fabricate something.
Who were the best agents?
Oh, Lanza was good. Rene Goulet was good. Um, Tony Gurria was good. They never got on you. They never, said this is what they'd like. This is what we're doing. Blah blah blah. They never made up any stories. Never stirred any shit. So yeah.